Welcome to today's podcast. So, recruitment is one of the biggest challenges that industry faces, and hiring right talent at the right time can make or break the business. So, what if there is a like a faster and a smarter and a more inclusive way of doing so? So, today we have Manjari Gupta, the visionary leader behind Aptofy, AI-powered recruitment platform, which is reinventing business to find their right talent. So I am your host Munmun, and today we will be having an engaging conversation with Manjari. So Manjari, it's great to have you here.
Hi, Gal. Thanks for inviting me.
So yeah, like little bit. Let's start with the backstory. So kind of what inspired you to like start Aptofy back in 2022.
Yeah, so business success, as you have just now said, right, hinges on having the right people in the organization. And having a right way to get those people is also very important. And Aptofy was formed with that attitude, or you can say that concept. And then we decided to invest in the technologies to make this platform. So this is for you. Then came in the Aptofy platform, the AI-powered recruitment platform. We wanted to address the key challenges. Is what is the concept behind Aptofy.
And just like trying to understand like from your background, like how like what inspired you basically from your
Yeah, so
career
we had
journey.
yeah. So basically, it happened is like we had a couple of companies, going around when Aptofy was formed, conceptualized. So we decided to see, because we saw a lot of growth happening in those companies, and hiring and maintaining, retaining people of the right, with the right skill set and the right mindset was very important. So hiring roughly around 500, 600 people in 7, 8 years was the key challenge we faced prior to when Aptofy was formed. So we decided to take this step or this investment towards Aptofy or the recruitment industry, and we try to cater to it. So basically there is an industry trend or a shift which is going on. That is, basically recruitment has completely become online these days. That is in the initial phases, like say pre 2020-21, there was a lot of hiring which used to happen in the face to face manner. Though there were video calls there already, but then meeting the people in person was something which was almost like key. So nowadays, this is completely shifted. So to cater to this gap which is getting created, I thought Aptofy was a very good, thought process or a requirement which we could cater to.
Yeah, so Manjari, like I would like to know, like maybe for our viewers also and the audience also, like like your background and like how you like got inspired with AI and like have found something like even AI can like reinvent the recruitment process. So like and like from the hiring shift also, like on the hiring domain also, like what inspired you in the hiring domain
Yes.
plus the like blending the technology with that.
Yes, yes, right. So yeah, just like you said, AI is something which has already taken the industry now. People are completely, as soon as they heard the AI is a buzzword, I would say, right? So when that is a buzzword, it's just not buzzword for the sake of being a buzzword. It has some potential in it. So seeing that potential, we decided that AI, machine learning, and computer vision, for that matter, and natural language processing can be leveraged. So that is the opportunity which is getting created with the adoption of AI, and we wanted to capitalize on it. And not just capitalize, it creates a very good sustainable and social impact as well. Because recruitment is one place where it is about the human beings and the and the what do you call it, the basically nurturing the feelings of the person who work for you is also very much important. All that can be, and the attitude can be built by using technology to that advantage. That is exactly why Aptify was concerned. This is something which I really wanted to work upon. I wanted to ease what they ease the pain which we feel when we are hiring multiple people. We're trying to grow relentlessly, facing issues, and at that time it becomes very important that we opt a solution, recruitment solution or tech solution in that matter.
So like what message you want to give like to the like the organizations, like if you can little bit brief about what Aptofy does, like what are the key challenges it can solve in the industry now, like right
Yes,
from
yes.
like identifying the like from the like volumes of resumes, like what else it does basically, like if you can give a brief on that.
Yes, yes. So recruitment, basically, when we made Aptofy, we decided to cater to multiple areas. First level being recruitment. Recruitment, it involves using a recruiter, getting a lot of resumes, relevant resumes, and having a keyword match or a filtering of candidates. So we did it at every step of the recruitment process, right from the time when the candidate has to be searched for, is when we have introduced the AI features for it. The first thing which we did is that resume filtering happens. It is NLP based. We do a meaning match. Resumes come better. Recruiter does not have to spend time on reading the resumes, which is one of the key pains. As soon as you're hiring thousands of people, this becomes very much of very much of a pain point. Then the next phase comes in where you actually have to evaluate those people. Though keyword filtering has reduced a few of them, but many of them are still claiming it but are not that good in that particular skill. Then the evaluation phase starts. So we decided to put AI in that and we automate the whole evaluation process. The key feature is that we have an AI bot which takes those interviews. We replace the requirement of expert interviewers. So that is something which we came up with. Now, just evaluating them and having a report or a scorecard was not sufficient. So we decided to have all the communication skills captured in it. Is the person speaking professionally enough? Is there is a professional demeanor or not? Is his language formal or not? All the many minute things, but it does impact or it changes the way interview would happen. What if you were speaking to an interviewer in a cabin or maybe on a video call? Whatever attributes you should display there is what should be displayed on a video call as well, is what we have enforced. So we just ensure that the interviewing process continues to be formal enough while they do not have to face a direct interviewer and while the interviewer does not have to be available and spend all his time for it. So that is the next thing which we got introduced. So reports have become comprehensive, detailed, so that we can have an actual feel of the candidate as if we have spoken to the candidate already. So that is the next thing which we did. Then it doesn't stop there. When the candidates are changing the way they were talking, the way they were addressing the world around them, then we are becoming more and more online and remote, right? So then there's a need of a training platform which would train those candidates in writing those interviews or in attempting those interviews or speaking with a professional demeanor in a video call. And those are the certain aspects which we could have covered. So we actually added a trainer also. That is, we are a recruiter, an AI interviewer, and we are an AI trainer as well. So that way we have these multiple offerings which are built in Interactive.
So basically, am I correct that if I, like assume that the first screening of, like the volumes of resumes and identifying the right set of candidates from the first round, so that is kind of, like Aptofy is doing, or it is kind of helping, like in the journey ahead also, like in the entire recruitment, like till the
It is
candidate is hired.
right, right. And it is helping in the entire journey. We have actually implemented the recruitment flow for the ease of ease of the recruiters, or you can say the organizations. What happens is organizations have multiple recruiters. Some of them are fresh, some are less trained. Some of them face issues like absenteeism. Sometimes it is like there are recruiters, but there are urgent jobs. So all those combinations, right, have to be addressed. And scheduling is one of the major problems which candidates need their own convenience. Even hiring teams, right? Hiring teams should have the right expertise already with them. So if you're already having the expertise, the need of hiring more and more candidates may not be that great, right? So we need to have a tool or a system or a process in place, first on the recruitment level and then on the technical expertise or the soft skill expertise. Maybe a simple position like an accountant also requires the skill sets, right? So that have to be that verified. So all those things can be done by using a tool, and that's why at various levels we have implemented this recruitment plan.
Got it. So basically, you started in 2022. So I think that is the most challenging time basically we faced like after the COVID.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so that comes with like lot of like a whole new set of basically the challenges.
Right,
Like
right. Yes.
so
So
that's
I
like
would,
that,
yeah.
yeah, like how do
Just
you like what kind of challenges you face like post COVID, and how like convince the organizations like like kind of test your product as a market fit, like what kind of like what is the journey then?
Right, right. So yeah, this like you pointed out, 22 was that phase only. People were already adapting a lot of tools, and most of the people had come online already. All the work was being done online. Recruitments were happening. People were being asked to come back to work. But I would say the recruitment process continues to be online. So people have come back to work. There is hybrid model. There is work from office 3 days, work from office 4 days. Everything is already there in place. But then the recruitment process, which is which we had like a lot of multiple walk-ins happening, people interviewers going to colleges to take those interviews, global talent acquisition happening with relentless number of video calls. That thing has started reducing. People have shifted to online. No more interviews visit. No more candidates visit offices. So that phase, which might have been after the pandemic had started, but has been adopted completely. Not just that is a new trend. There's a trend of third party servicing. That is third party interviewing happening. Then though it is something which we can do, we can actually take other interviewers and experts to take the interviews, but the bias thing continues to happen. As a person, I have I have my own personal choices. I have you can say my education
Right.
can also become a barrier. I can have a
Mhm.
way of rating which is not you know which is not at par with the industry standards, for example, for your own project or for your own product. So the third party interviewing, which is already taken up, is also a trend. So yeah, it is good to have a third party interviewer, but we just want to replace it and say that okay, please take an AI bot for it, because these AI bots can actually be trained for and standardized. They can actually be trained to be bias free, because that is exactly where the space even becomes even more interesting. I would say that we can actually replace these third party interviewings. We can actually automate these interviews, and we can actually ensure that people are evaluated fair, and there is lesser malpractices happening. They can get interviewed at their convenience. And not just that, even if there is a lack of expertise, or even there is a lack of availability of expertise, then we can actually arrange it, because we have a bot which can use one person's expertise and leverage those interviews to multiple people. Not just that, even for training's sake, this can happen. For trainings also, you may not have a person or trainer to visit them personally. Though online trainings are a trend, but having an expert all the time available, to monitor you is difficult. So having an AI bot doing that is even more, in an advantage. So that is where we will pose the, we are advantages that.
So just like to know, like when you talk about bias, so bias is a like a big thing in AI, because like there are lots of like lot many times that we have to handle the bias, hallucination of the AI bot and all. So like how
Hi.
like you manage that? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This is, so basically, when we say AI bot, the AI bot is actually a code, right? So we can always code them to do the what is specifically for vertical standard, or we can design them, the design system, to ensure that they cater to the bias-free nature. So the code is such that we do not use any of those things which can create more and more bias. We standardize the questionnaire, we standardize the answers which are given. We have a standard algorithm which will be applicable to an entire set of people for a particular interview, for a particular job requirement, for a particular interview, which will which further reduces the bias. So just by seeing your hearing to your accent, or hearing to your knowing about your your gender, or maybe your anything else, for that matter, race or anything else, we will not start creating any bias, because AI is not even programmed to do so. So this designing part has been done ethically, with so that we can actually really come to that goal, which is called ethical fair practices. So that is exactly what has been done. We have ensured our product is on those lines.
Mhm. Okay, that's actually great to know. Like, any success story, like like post COVID, and like with any industry, like you have, like you like to
See,
share with us.
yeah, sure. So basically, we hear a lot about that. Like basically, we can say there's a trend. You can say people take some time to adopt a new technology. But I did find some people who were ready to try out. We tried out a lot of customer trials, and we did people who were ready to see how recruitment is happening, taking interviews and other things is what people did in person. In the beginning, we found that we felt that maybe they will not get that much adaptability, because a lot of comments was coming, a lot of reviews were coming. But then once I got one senior person who was ready to even talk to us about this, talk to us about it. And then what he did is, he actually we did two urgent hirings for them, and we completed the process for them. He was able to close the requirements very soon, which you can say in 3 to 5 days time frame. We were able to generate the offer letters and roll them out. And not just that, we also leverage that process to open a couple of more jobs. Though they do not have those recruiters, we were able to uh, help them that in a single recruiter was able to handle the next 5 jobs which are given to the person. That way, we were able to make small wins. I would is what I would say. So yes, I'm like I this is like if a full entire organization is what I start catering to, it will be like a big win for current. But then small wins is what we're already getting, and and the people are appraising, and they're really interested in knowing more how technology is being used for AI for recruitment.
And any setback you face, like like where actually like you haven't faced, like what is kind of should be a desired outcome, but it hasn't like reached to that level. Like any example
Yeah,
for that?
setbacks is like we always start to reach the moon, right? So we already decided that the day when I launched my product, the next day I would have people who are coming and talking about the product and wanting to know more about the product, and I will get a lot of customers from day one, maybe in the first month itself. That didn't happen. It was a little slow. There were always this always no. When you say when you launch something which is related to technology, there are always early adopters and late adopters. So that did happen. We were expecting a lot of early adopters. We're still in that early stage only though. But then no, we were expecting a lot of them, but then it didn't happen in the beginning. But gradually, right, early adopters also come to know from various sources. They become more curious and then they try out. So that way, a lot of product, no, a lot of demos, customer trials get released is what we have been able to do. So, but then was a setback. I initially thought, because there is such a pressing need in the within first 3 to 6 months, I would have multiple sales. I would have a revenue. You can call it like a pot full of revenue coming, but that didn't happen that way.
Got it. That is kind of like the journey of every startups actually.
Yeah,
uh,
right. So we did get a
yeah.
lot of good feedbacks, but that was a real jackpot. Which we were getting a lot of good feedbacks that helped me tailor the packages. So what we have done from that is we have tailored the packages according to organization, number of people in the organization, number of people they grow. They want to hire on a per year basis. All those information and a lot of information we got collected because we were offering these customer trials. So the knowledge and the information they were imparting to us, so the data which they were giving us has helped us indirectly grow. So we have been able to grow since the time. So basically, we launched the MVP right in October. We can call it in October 23 itself. From then onwards, after seeking a lot of feedback, is when the product has started becoming mature. When it came to this May June of this year. So that is what I would say. That is this feedback has been the real win which we have made.
So I was like actually like thinking about my experience, like when I started my career. So like the things happen like that, no? Like you go to a interview and you kind of like find the like the panelist very comfortable, and sometimes you don't like the panelist at all. So kind of like it's a very human process. Like it happened with me lots many times. Like I faced interviews and wherein like I got very comfortable with the interviewer actually. Like he made the situation very comforting, but on the other hand, some interviews were really very harsh. So kind of like how like you're ensuring that Aptofy is giving that human touch, or it is kind of like eliminating fully that human touch.
Yeah. So I would say, so what we have done with Aptofy is that, we have done the evaluation process happening through a bot, but the final decision making, the sending of the invites, which happens, is all done by human beings. The human beings can have choices, but then we have just tried to control the way they can exercise their choices. We have said that the evaluations can be fair, though the choices, like in terms of how many people do you want, or which age experience level people you want, can be exercised, is what we have allowed. The final decision making, we have left it to the human beings. That is, we have left it to the hiring managers. Finally, it is the team and the hiring managers which we have to work along. So if they are able to get along and they are able to focus on building the relationship, at least with those final few which will actually join them, is it would be advantages for them. So instead of focusing on the 100 people which they start the recruitment with, we have tried to focus on the final 10 which will actually join the organization. That is the way I have maintained the human touch, so that the relationship building continues to happen. The HR continues to build the relation until they join, and then thereafter.
Okay, so just want to ask one thing, like for the HR, it's a tedious process. Like when like large volume of like the hiring is happening, kind of like there's a big hire happening, and like how do you like how do you think about Aptofy scaling that volume? Like is it capable of scaling like very huge volume of
Yes.
hiring?
Yeah, this is something which is a very very good case, I will tell you. So what happens is, like, for example, we have a job requirement coming in and we have like 20 people to hire. Now this 20 people have to be hired in a span of 3 months. Taking a recruit, we might get a pool of 100 candidates or 200 candidates, no, which are relevant to that profile. Interviewing them, scheduling interviews across time zones, or sometimes even that sometimes catering to various other factors which are there, becomes very tedious. So having an Aptofy platform which actually issues a link where you can write the interview, and does not require not just a human interview but the recruiter to be present as well to start the interview. We do a candidate verification. We verify there's no cheating that is happening, which has actually helped to ensure that towards the end of the after the, say for example, we say shared invite with 100 people. So 100 people wrote the interviews. We have reports of them. So this process from sharing the invite onwards till the result coming, that full process is man free or woman free, I would say. So basically, it is free of human beings at the level. So what happens is that saves a lot of time. HR, I'm telling you, HR are one of the most burdened people. So it is it is good for them to have a technology which assists them.
So Right. basically, we are facing, like this challenge recently, like not challenge, I would say, but everyone has become smarter now with the chat GPT, like coming into picture and all. So, and we know that resume is also getting, like basically screened by a AI bot. So what we
Mhm.
do is basically when we go through a job description, we tend to copy that description and put in the chatbot, chat GPT, and we tell that write our resume in such manner that it gets screened. So,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
and some people are, like not even, like that smart that they still don't know like how to use chat GPT, or, like some unaware segment is there. So,
Yeah, I'll take this one. Yeah, yeah. I want to take this question in another manner. I would say this is something which you just not told me, and the alert is I already have a software solution for it. Okay, so when somebody does something like this, what we are doing is we are blocking all the other channels which they can use while they write the interview, and it is a voice based or a video based interview, so they don't get to use any other tool. First of all, second is, even if the resume matched and they got selected and got the interview invite, does not mean that they'll get a test report or an interview report on it. Okay, so that is what we have ensured. Yes, we wanted to be a step ahead of them. So finally, we are also the same level of students and candidates, right, all our life. So by the time have come to this position, I have learned that this is something which we had to mitigate first. So this is what I have mitigated first. We do have an anti-plagiarism check also on resumes, actually.
want to give to the like lots of like like audiences here, like audience are here who are kind of like freshers, and like they're looking for the job. So any like message you want to give them, like how to like build their resume, which cannot be like tracked by the even the AI bot, that it is kind of like built by AI or something like that, some
Yeah,
like
right.
some message like you want to convey.
Yeah, as of now, as of opportunity, the technology is still not that it can put a chip in your head, okay, and make you speak. Okay, yeah, but then so even if you have built your resume, it is always important that you build your knowledge. It is very much important that you practice, because if you really wanted to get selected in a job and a job of your dream, it is better that you really were working for it first, because no point getting selected and not being able to do it also. Okay, so better to have a place where we can actually do more than, so better to practice and get selected in an interview because based on your own knowledge and your own skill, and let that be your dream job is how you should work at it, is what I would say to candidates.
Right. Yeah, that's very important, like having right set of skills, because right now we are seeing that there are lots of job in the industry, but we are lacking, like the right talents. So
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
so
that is something which is a major gap. Yes.
yeah, right. And I was reading about Aptofy. Actually, I was studying your website and all. So basically, what I found is that you are also, like aligned to the sustainability goals, the SDGs of like said by the UN. So,
Yeah.
like what my next question is like, like how you see sustainability in the hiring process.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, I have designed the application taking these things in mind, because I was saying when you want to have a software and do recruitment at a larger scale, not just larger scale for a global market, or we should cater to things like which are good for the long term. Right. So sustainability goals like carbon emission, diversity, ethical practices, equal pay, all those points have tried to cover that in Aptofy. The various technological sections and various things ensure that we have designed to reduce carbon emission. We have ensured our no, our product is bias free. Not just that, I would say we have also ensured ethical practices throughout the throughout the recruitment process. Then we have
Uh,
100 proctored, like that's a disclaimer here, and we are voice and audio both proctored, so people who are thinking of cheating will get caught. Yeah.
Yeah. So just like want to understand one thing, like since we know that even like any AI solution is not 100% accurate. So just want to ask you like is there any chance like like you actually like miss a right candidate just from like because you are using AI or something like that is the like the question here.
Yeah, that is pretty much there. So that is there with every technology, right? So they can be not 100% accurate, but then what we can do is we can capture the maximum value they can offer, right? So if the person has practiced, answered correctly, at least the report will be genuine. And the final decision when it is given to human beings, so you can say the hiring managers, finally the most appropriate and the most fit candidate which can actually work in the same organization and the same product and the right product will be selected. So yes, there can be chance of 99% or 98% accuracy only, but that doesn't really hamper much of what you can call a candidate spirit, because if they have answered correctly, they were always in the shortlisted list, even if they were not the final candidates. But that happens in real life too. Like when that happens in real life too, you get job interviews which are very close done by the director himself or a hiring manager himself, and then you then don't get an offer letter out. Right. So if you have got you to the step of getting to the shortlisted and talking directly to the hiring manager or the director, then we have pretty much solved the problem. Your voice is breaking again.
Well,
Hello.
now,
Yes, now
hello.
I can hear you.
Yeah. So basically, what I am going to ask Manjari. So lots of the time we have seen that in interview, even answering the right questions is not like the only pointer. There are
Yeah.
lot many pointers, other pointers like like the right kind of body language, whether you are maintaining the right eye contact, your
Right.
facial expressions. So like when an AI bot is taking the interview, uh, like how do you like like so though there is no human being sitting and kind of like taking those strategic decisions like okay this candidate is like exhibiting right set of body languages, so how you like kind of um see that like from the AI perspective like AI is
Yes,
doing
yes.
this.
When that you have rightly said. So yes, we have so many researchers and different results that not just the skill set but the soft skill set, not just this, but the attitude, all are important. So the way you come and present yourself in a video interview is very important. The need, the urgency is not just important, but the way you present in terms of how you write the language. Some people talk in a slang English language. They don't qualify for a formal interview, right? So we capture all that.
Correct.
Language correctness is what we check. Emotion correctness, or a parameter is what we check. Speed or speaking is what we check. So all those things have been implemented. We have used natural language processing, computer vision, and various other emotion detection tests. Right now, there are a lot of technical, what do you call, tools or with the pre-existing APIs which we have used to ensure that the product works. Okay, and captures the the essence of the candidate. We try to make a very real life kind of solution where the report comes in is consists of as if you've not spoken to the as if you have spoken to the person without meeting the person. So that much the report
Mhm.
comes in. So that type of picture comes in, plus the scorecard also. Because see, as a hiring manager, may not be the best for all the skill sets, right? So I also need a hiring team to do the hiring. So I've tried to reduce that burden and give them a score on all the various values, and plus try to save on their time so that they don't have to meet every candidate in person. That is pretty much what has been implemented.
Got it, like if HR wants they can see the recordings
Yes,
afterwards.
yes. We have some screenshots here, and we also give them the reason why the interview was terminated. For example, we tell them that whether they were picking a mobile or they were picking a book, or if they have done any kind of cheating. Other, if there's no cheating, it's just an internet loss, so then we give them a reattempt. So we are fair in that aspect. So I would say, Searching on Google is something which we have stopped. We cannot move out of the browser and screen. We can't move into another desktop. If you have any other device around you, we mostly get, we are able to read it. And yes, and once you've detected a malpractice, maybe one or two warnings, and after that, the report is generated saying the person is not fit for that interview. Okay, so yeah, pretty much this is something which we have tried to address, because this is something very common. It is our own tendency. As soon as you don't know something, we try to Google. It has become a practice, right? That has to be
Right.
during a formal interview.
Yeah, even they can look into the phone, right? Like while interviewing, they can just search in the phone and can, like search the
Objects,
answers.
bad that is,
Yeah.
we detect the objects. That is, we get a we detect mobiles, we detect phones, papers, pens. We detect those things actually. So yeah, we provide them a calculator, we provide them a notepad if they want to write something, but then we don't provide them any external objects because we detect them.
So, Manjari, like from the product perspective, I would like to ask some questions. So basically, like when you are like basically introducing something to the world, then there are lots of probabilities that you have to think about a next 5 to 10 years vision, like how you will, like enrich your product and keep on bringing new features. So, like, where do you, like see Aptofy from that point, like, like in the next 5 to 10 years?
Yes, yes. So, 5 to 10 years is something which you're saying long. I would say, yeah, after 5 might take 2 years or 3 years, but then we will come and go to niche solution, is what I would say. So the people would, would want to use Aptofy because it is easy to use, not just because it has a tech and business advantage, but it is very much easy to use. It is customer friendly. It is, it is easy on the pocket, is what I would say. So I would like to come to that place where they just say if you have to do an AI based recruitment or you do not have an interview today, where would you like to go? Then it should become Aptofy. I don't have a person today. Let's go to Aptofy and recruit one. I would just want to become that in the next 3 years, is what I would say. Yeah, so this is my thank you note. I would say you please try Aptofy. And the way if you try Aptofy is that having in mind that you will be fair in your recruitment. Connect with me. We give you customer trials for candidates. You can always log in, take a couple of interviews from us, and okay, I'm like sharing my whole screen actually. Yeah, this is my information. So yeah, please connect here, and so if you log into Aptofy for candidates, if you sign up, we give you a couple of free interviews. You can practice your skill set. You can get hired. In a proper openings, you can practice is what is there for them. And for recruiters and trainers, yes, we have a lot of we have a lot of what you call information which they can come connect with us and try it out. Okay, so yeah, please do visit us. This is my information.
Like insight, Manjari. So, just like to wrap up a couple of like more questions for the organizations who will like basically like take AI as the next level of like hiring process, and also for the candidates who are like looking for job and they're getting interview ready. So, what is your message for both of them? Like you can start with organization first.
Yes, for organizations, I would say, we anyways are wanting to grow. We want to grow on a fair and ethical practices like when you're opting for a software or opting technology. First thing is better. It's better to opt for a technology and easier process. But when you're opting for a software, please opt for one which is which is sustainable or which is has a better impact. Is what I would say. And when it comes to candidates, I would say practice this test is practice, learn how learn your skills well, present it well, is what I would say. So yes, please use tools. Even free tools are available. You can try them out. If you don't find them fit, then you can come to Aptofy. So it's like you should try it out, and you should practice a lot, is what I would say.
Any free tool links you have, like or
Yeah, I think Google itself is there. I think LinkedIn also provides a few of them. You can try them out. Google, I think, has record. Otherwise, you can do a plain recording and then you can hear it and see if it works for you. If it doesn't work for you, then you can always use a professional tool which is helping you to get those clear those interviews.
see like like giving interview to a AI bot, like how it feels like the entire
Yeah, yeah.
process.
So I will say instead of me, there'll be a white screen which will have the questions popping up. So yeah, we can always have them speak to you also. But then, as of now, like the questions will be popping up. You would answer them. You will put on a mic and you can answer them. Once you answer them, you have to click on the next button. Is what it is. So yeah, we have demo videos available on YouTube, and we also have a few. Basically, you can always try it on the customer trial round also. So that is actually an AI bot asking those questions. Then people will definitely ask me this question that we also had initially this type of things, right? But they were always happening for multiple choice questions or in the blanks kind of questions where there were single word answers. Here we have leveraged the fact that you can speak as if you're speaking in an interview and get evaluated. That is the key difference, and I think that is what is required in the real world these days. People don't ask one word questions and answers, right?
I think one advantage and like advantage is there. I will say it is an advantage only. Like I said, that interview, like just see your checks your body language and attitude and everything of the in like the interviewee. So basically, the interviewee also while answering, they actually like measures that how interviewer is reacting, like whether he is answering correct or not. So like when a bot is taking, I think lots of that those things will be not there. So kind of like sometimes it is very much like they get like really very conservative to answer, and I think that is I think the great advantage of giving an interview to a bot.
Yeah, not an advantage. It I would say there's a catch here. So sometimes human interviews. What happens? I have a bias in my mind today. I'm not well prepared, not in good mood. Whatever good performance my like the candidate is giving, I may not like it because just I'm not in a good mood today. Yeah, so that thing is not what AI would know. AI would overcome that problem at least. Again, it can also be sometimes when like when we are talking, sometimes we miss a few words. We try to fill in those words because based on all our understanding and our biases, that is something another thing which will like we are AI will be able to fill here. So that way, AI will be judging on standardization and not on our own biases, is what I would say here.
Correct.
So my question to you would be like, suppose you are on a video call, and you have been asked a question which you're very uncomfortable with and do not like it, right? Or maybe it's a technical question which you don't know. So, what is the common emotion which you feel? You can write down in your chat board, or you can generally tell me this answer. One word answers, please.
Ma'am, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, so suppose you were in an interview on a video call, and you get a question which you don't like. Well, or maybe you do not know that question's answer. Okay, and you get uncomfortable or whatever you feel with it. So what is the general emotion which you present on your face? You can select an emoji. If you cannot select an emoji, then probably you can write it in word instead.
Yeah, anyone like to answer?
May I?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we can say that basically what I used to say when I give the interview and I don't know any answer, then I used to say, sorry, ma'am and sir, currently I am not able to means remember these portions and I am not able to understand these things. So yeah,
Yeah, that's way of understanding the question one more time. These are words. I'm asking what is your emotion. So have you tried capturing that? Is was my question. So if you try capturing that, you will get more information on how you perform in the video call because that is what an actual interviewer sees when they talk to you, right? Apart from the technical knowledge, which is very important, definitely. Right? That is what happens in a face-to-face call. If you take it over phone, you hardly hear it. Otherwise, it is sounds in your voice. That's the only thing I would say. So when you don't know something, it is good. But especially if it is not in your resume, then it is even better because you can either point it out or you can say that this is something which I would like to learn. Okay, so that thing words can come in, but the emotions also should be in that way only is the tip.
Yeah, any other questions, guys? Just go ahead, be a sport and ask. Yeah.
ma'am, I want one. I ask more one question. Actually, previously in last 3 weeks before, I have one interview. So I have cleared all the technical interview. Means there are 3 rounds. First there was FT round, and secondly there was a virtual interview in an online mode, and thirdly again there was again a second round for the technical interview, and then there was a HR round. So I have qualified for 3 round, and when I've gone for a HR interview, then in a HR interview there is a one question that if there is a conflict between you and your team leader, then how you can resolve it and what will be your opinion here. So for this reason, I have given the answer, but I think I got this means I got deselected in last two
Okay.
companies. Yeah.
Yeah, so I understand the disappointment because after giving 3 rounds of interviews, so I would say, softwares which take too many interviews, or when the hiring process is too long, it becomes tedious for candidates, and it increases the disappointment if they get, if they fail, or if they don't get selected in the end. Yeah, so that is one of the problems which is still there in the industry, which should be catered to, and if we can we can compile the questions and ask in one round, it becomes easier. Yeah. So what is your disappointment? Not getting selected or the multiple rounds of interviews? My question to you.
No, actually, in last two companies, I have cleared all the technical interviews, but I am getting means rejected in the HR round. So I am not
Uh,
getting that where I am lacking behind. Means that's the
so
reason.
it can be multiple reasons, right? So probably I'm not in HR to comment on that.
Yeah,
Yeah, but then I would say it can be because they do not the team requirement was a little bit different. Not just your skills. It can be because the you do not fit in the when you create the team structure. Can be anything. It can be anything. So if you don't get disheartened, practice. You will get a proper job interview where you could actually clear.
got it, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, any other questions? We can take a couple of more questions. Business. So stay tuned for our next session where we will explore how technology can, transform our ways of doing work.